Sometimes the darkest stories begin with the best intentions, as a family tries to hold together despite unimaginable difficulties. This is one of those stories. A family torn apart by violence after years of struggle with a son who could never find peace. This is the tragic story of the Liske family murders. Welcome to my channel, where I typically discuss things that are strange, mysterious, and creepy. If that interests you, then please subscribe or follow me. If you enjoy this video, please hit the like button, leave me a comment, or share this video with a friend. That really helps out a small channel like mine. Okay, let's get back to today's story. Meet William Bill Liske. A kind, patient man, Bill was a devoted father, even when it meant dealing with years of heartache caused by his son. BJ was a young man with a troubled mind and a dark, volatile side that would sometimes bubble to the surface without warning. Diagnosed with a severe mental illness, BJ struggled with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, conditions that left him grappling with paranoia, aggression, and unpredictable mood swings. Throughout his childhood and teenage years, he'd been in and out of mental health facilities, but even the best treatment seemed only to keep the storms at bay temporarily. BJ's behavior was a constant strain on his family. He often clashed with his stepmother, Susan, and his stepbrother, Derek, who found themselves walking on eggshells whenever BJ was around. Over the years, BJ's violent outbursts had grown harder to manage. At times, he had threatened his family, lashing out in frightening fits of anger. Despite these moments, Bill never gave up on him. For Bill, BJ wasn't just a troubled son, he was family, and Bill believed that family stuck together, no matter what. In an effort to create some sort of normalcy, Bill kept trying to bridge the gap between his family and BJ. He hoped that by showing BJ compassion, he might finally get through to him. This hope is what led Bill to invite BJ on a hunting trip in late October 2010. It was Bill's way of showing BJ he cared, a way to offer him a moment of closeness that was desperately needed. The trip went smoothly, and for a brief moment, it seemed like things might be looking up. After the hunting trip, BJ and his father returned to the family home, where they joined Susan and Derek for a family gathering. It was an evening full of laughter, a rare moment where everyone let their guard down. Maybe, just maybe, things were turning a corner. That night, after the party ended, Bill invited BJ to spend the night on the sofa. BJ accepted, and it seemed like a simple act of kindness, a father giving his son a place to stay. But no one knew that this would be the last night the family would ever spend together. The following morning, on October 31st, 2010, Susan's other son, Devin, stopped by the house to pick up a robe before heading to church. As he approached, he noticed BJ by his white truck acting strangely. Devin greeted him and let BJ know he'd be back after church. BJ didn't say much, and Devin, thinking nothing of it, left for his service. When Devin returned home after church, he was met with a sight that would forever be etched into his memory. His family had been slaughtered in cold blood. Susan, Bill, and Derek were all dead. Devin's screams rang out through the neighborhood, and soon the police were at the scene, piecing together what had happened. Investigators found that Derek had been beaten to death with a claw hammer, a brutal, personal way to kill someone. Bill and Susan, on the other hand, had both been shot at close range with a .22 caliber rifle, likely while they were still in bed. The peaceful home had been turned into a scene of unthinkable violence, and all the evidence pointed to one person, BJ. The hunt for BJ began almost immediately. Given his history and the fact that he'd been spotted outside that morning, he quickly became the prime suspect. As the police scoured the area, they remembered a family cabin in the woods where BJ sometimes went. They suspected he might try to hide there. Their instincts were right. When they arrived at the cabin, they found BJ inside, silent, as if he'd been waiting for them. He didn't resist when they arrested him. In his truck, police found the murder weapon, stained with his family's blood, and all the physical evidence linking him to the scene. It was a chilling end to a manhunt that had barely begun. With the weight of evidence against him, BJ eventually accepted a plea deal, sparing him the death penalty. In exchange, he pleaded guilty to all 3 murders and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. But the story doesn't end there. 1 year after his conviction in 2011, BJ was found dead in his prison cell. He had taken his own life. Some believe that the crushing guilt had finally gotten to him. Others think that his long-standing mental health issues had simply spiraled out of control in the isolation of prison. Either way, his death marked a tragic end to a story already filled with loss and grief. The Liske family's story is one of those rare and haunting cases where even the deepest love couldn't save them from tragedy. Bill Liske tried to his very last day to give his son a place in their family. But in the end, BJ's inner demons proved too much for him and for everyone around him. It's a heartbreaking reminder of the limits of love and the unpredictable, often devastating nature of untreated mental illness. A family torn apart by violence, a father's love tested to its limit, and a son lost to his own darkness? The Liske family murders leave us with unanswered questions, lingering sadness, and the unsettling reality that sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you can't save everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more stories of true crime, mystery, and more. Until next time, please stay safe, and as always, stay curious.